Besides, the concept that we will be discussing today is NLP, is basically the natural language processing. So this concept basically means we need to work on natural language. This language can be any. This can be English, this can be Hindi, this can be Spanish, German, or anything. So which is naturally being spoken. So for us, the point of interest is English. So we will be working on English as a language. So what does it mean? What do we mean by natural language processing? Natural language processing means when we are working on a language and we are getting the linguistic or the linguistic insights out of it. Insight is, let's example, the application is, let's example, I've been sending you emails and you've been sending me emails. So with the words that have been used in the emails, we can identify whether the person who is sending and who is receiving the mail is satisfied, is happy on sentiment, is not happy on sentiments, or whatever it is. So this is a thing that we normally do. This is one of the example. So this is basically the example of natural language processing. Working on the natural language is the natural language processing. So if I'll go a bit deeper into it, so it has various applications. Natural language processing has various applications. One of the key application of this is extracting information from the language. So this is natural language processing. So language is a central part of our day-to-day life. And it's so interesting to work on any problem related to languages. So basically, NLP will motivate us to learn some amazing concepts like say people who basically are involved in the study of languages are called linguists. And this term, computational linguists, apply to study of processing languages with the application of computation. So with time, we have seen that computational linguistic will be a computer scientist who has enough understanding of languages and who can apply his computational skills to different aspects of the language. While the concept is like computational linguists address the theoretical aspect of languages. So it is more about application of computers on different languages and working on real world applications. So this is like this is simply like a teaching a language to a child. So this includes understanding words, sentences, forming grammatically structural correct sentences, and a very natural to humans kind of a sentences that we will be working here. So this is basically, this involves a lot of things like tokenization, sentence breaking, chunking, part of speech tagging, parsing, machine translation, speech recognition, and many more. So we will be working on the practical side of it. So this basically involves that we should have a basic understanding what the language is. So there are various things so that we will be doing on this natural language processing. So now the question is, why do we learn NLP? Why do we learn NLP? So let me tell you, whenever we work on any NLP, there are various libraries there, but one of the common used libraries is NLTK. So I'll say import NLTK. So this will import NLTK as a language. NLTK is a very important language, a very important application for this. So we have various libraries for like NLPs. So some of the other libraries are, say, Genism. Other library is Stanford. Stanford also has its own library. So, okay, the question is, why do we learn NLP? So basically, NLP is one of the rarest skill set that is required in the current industry. After the invention of big data, the major challenge is that we need more and more people who are good with just not structured, but also the semi-structured or the unstructured data. We are generating petabytes of data, like text using Facebook, tweets, LinkedIn chats, and many more, emails. So various organizations are collecting all these different kind of data for customer targeting and meaningful insights. To process all this unstructured data source, we need people who understand NLP. That is the requirement of NLP. So currently we are in the age of information. We can't even imagine our life without, say, Google. So Siri, if you guys know about Siri, it's one of the basic concept. We use,
Yes, sir.
we use it for spam filters or filtering spam emails. So we need spell checkers on a Word document. There are many examples of real world NLP applications around us that we normally work on. So let us give some, let me give some other interesting NLP applications that you are commonly using. The spell correction in MS Word that you normally use. Search engines like Google, Bing, many more. Speech engines, Siri, Google Voice, Alexa, and many more. Like spam classifiers, all email services provide you spam classifier. News feed in form of a Google, Yahoo, and so on. Machine translation, that is basically the Google translation. IBM Watson. So many applications of real-time and
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
You are
Your
not.
voice is not.
Sir has muted himself.
Sir,
Excuse me, sir.
Study
Sorry, you have
guys.
muted yourself.
Sir, you are not audible. Is anyone listening?
hello.
Sir has put himself
Yeah.
on mute. That's why we can't hear him.
Not able to
What is
hear.
Jainism?
He has put himself on mute.
What the fuck? Excuse me, sir.
yeah, sorry guys. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
म्यूट करो ना.
So guys, please put yourself on mute.
Okay, sir.
So where we were, what we were discussing?
NLP examples, sir.
Yeah,
NLP examples.
Yeah. So some of the commonly used libraries which I've told you about this, like Jennison, Stanford
Hello,
Tool.
sir.
Yeah,
Hello, sir. Vibhor this side. Hello, sir.
yeah, Vibhor.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but can you just explain once more what you actually I joined late? That's why, sir. Can you
Okay, so
explain once more, sir, from start?
before we have been discussing about natural language processing. So natural language processing means like processing the data from text. We have been discussing some of the examples where NLP used commonly, like MS Word, spell correction, search engine in Google, speech engines. We use Siri, like Alexa, spam classifiers, which like every email, like Google, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, Rediff Mail, all of these things will provide. News feed on Google, news feed on Yahoo, and many more. So the translation, like Google Translation, that is work on. So these are the common
Okay,
things we
sir.
have got.
Sir, whatever you mention here, NLTK, what is this, sir? Can you explain once?
Yeah. I'm coming to that only. So
Okay.
in Python as well. So whenever we work on natural language processing, we need to work on different libraries. So like when we work on data frame, we use pandas. When we work on um, numerical calculations, we use NumPy. So here we are using NLTK. NLTK is basically a library that we use for process the text data. Apart from that, we have other libraries as well, like Genesis, Stanford Toolkit. So these are the libraries available with the help of which we can process the data. So this is the thing that I've explained to you.
Sir,
Yeah.
what is the most commonly project for NLTKs, like chatbot and any other
So chatbot is
that
one
we
of the
were
things.
using NLTK?
So NLTK is basically used everywhere we have a text kind of a data, email filtering, spam filtering, and many more kind of. So in this session we'll see. So NLTK is basically a natural language toolkit in which we have various processings that we can do on text are being stored into. So so you can't say the common application of NLTK. All the text applications where the NLP is being used, majorly NLTK is a library that is used.
Okay, sir.
So NLTK is a very good learning kit because the
Sir, we need
learning.
to, hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we need to install NLTK or is inbuilt library?
No, you need to install it. So how do you install it? Is simply go to your. So you guys will be knowing. So the people who don't know, so it's a big library. So what you need to do is you need to say Conda install NLTK. So it will take its own sweet time. It will take an hour to install into your system.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. So for me, it's already installed. So it is a very good learning kit because the learning curve of the way the Python is growing is very fast. So NLTK is incorporated into Python, which basically gives you the ability to work on NLP tasks. So it is one of the very popular library in NLP community that we use. So this is NLTK. So what you need to do, you just need to type import NLTK in case the NLTK is basically installed with you. So let me tell you. So let me tell you what is NLTK, how it is being used, and many more things. Before this, so that like currently you will be able to make it once you see it. So the thing is, NLTK is one of the common library that is basically used when we are working on text, the thing we have seen. So text basically it includes various things. So one of the thing is, so in NLTK or in any of the NLP applications, some of the common tasks are text cleaning. This text cleaning means, or we say that the text pre-processing, you can call it. Cleaning, I'll come later, I'll say. So in this, we have sentence splitting. Then we have tokenization. Then after tokenization, we have another thing that is known as stemming. We have lemmatization. So lemmatization and stemming are a similar kind of a thing, but have a different way of working. Then we have stop word removal. Yeah, the people have raised their hands. Any doubt anybody has? We have stop word removal. We have then case conversion. Then we have number removal. Then we have punctuation removal. So these are the common tasks that we perform in NLP. So, but the thing is, this doesn't mean all the time that these are the only tasks. These are not limited to these things only, but it has a wide variety of things. So first of all, let me tell you what is text pre-processing or text cleaning. So it is basically removing noise in the data. Is text cleaning. So what do we mean by noise? So let's say example, I write a sentence that I'll say Vibhor. Vibhor, can you please tell me 2 lines about yourself?
Sir, my name is Vibhor, and I'm the student of post graduation on data science. I'm pursuing post graduation on data science.
Vibhor is guys, please put yourself on mute. I've been getting a lot of background noise. Guys, I don't know who is on mute. Please put yourself on mute. Let me. Pradeep, please put yourself on mute. So Vibhor is a student of post graduation. Let me ask anybody else. So I've been collecting some text. I'll say Khushbu Shukla. Khushbu, can you please tell me 2-3 lines about yourself?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm a data analyst. I'm working in Mindler.
Your hobbies and can you hear me?
Hello.
Khushbu, can you please tell me about you like of do this just 2-3 lines? Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Else. Yeah, Khushbu.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
I think sir can't hear me.
Actually, we lost the connection.
Guys, am I audible?
So your voice is breaking.
Okay, just give me a second. Guys, is it better now or it's still same?
Better now, sir.
Okay. So I'll write a sentence. I'll say Amrit studies in class 12. He likes swimming, dancing, and playing. He has 4 friends. So let's say this is the line. So now this line has a certain information. But if I'll remove some of the things out of it, then also you will be able to make it out. So if I'll write this sentence as Amrit study class 12, like swim, dance, play. 4 friend. So what I've done, I have removed certain things from this sentence, and this sentence is now basically a small sentence. So this is the thing that basically NLTK does. First, it converts the sentence into a minimum kind of a form where each and every word in the sentence is being used wherever it is required. So the word called in, he, and, has are known as stop words. So these words does not add the meaning to the crux of the sentence. These are the grammars. So it removes these. So let me tell you some of the examples. So let's example, as a first thing what we do is we split the sentence. So let's example, I'll say I have a sentence. Sent. So I have this sentence with me. So I'll say from NLT dot tokenize, import, send tokenize. And I'll say all send is equal to send tokenize input string. I'll say what was the error? So use key not found. Say
Yes.
so I've been reinstalling it. So the thing is because it has certain dependencies which are not working, or I'll say so let it work on that. In the meanwhile, I'll tell you. So let it install NLTK again. So I guess my NLTK is old. That's why it's not working. But what it will do is it will split the sentence. So let me tell you what is the meaning of each and everything. So sentence splitting, what it does is it splits the paragraph on sentences. So
Sir, your voice is
basically what it
breaking.
does is it split. Yeah.
Sir, your voice.
Anybody? My voice is breaking.
Yes, I can't hear properly.
Yes.
Okay. Just give me a second. Guys, is it audible now?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing that I've explained you, that I've been explaining you, sorry, was sentence splitter. So what it does is it splits the paragraph into sentences. So when I say splitting out on sentences, it is basically it finds the full stop. It splits on the basis of full stop. So let me see. Let me see why it is not working. So let it download again. I told you it splits the sentence on the basis of full stop. So basically, one is there are two types of sentence splitting algorithms that work. One is it splits on the basis of full stop. Second is it has a detection boundary with the help of which it splits the sentence. So I'll tell you both once my NLTK starts working. Second is tokenization. Tokenization is nothing but
Hello, sir.
splitting the sentence. Yeah.
Hello.
Rashi this side. So can you tell briefly about all this? I just joined.
So guys, we actually need to join at 8:30, 8:35 because right now it has been half an hour to 45 minutes. If I'll explain again, then the thing will be a bit difficult for the others. I hope you understand.
So only the important one that I have to know.
Okay, so I'm revising it. So when I say NLP is one of the tasks like working with the text data in Python. So for NLP, we have a library that is there in Python that is called NLTK. NLTK is Natural Language Toolkit. So it provides various functionalities. Like it provides a functionality where we can work on a lot of text data. So whenever we work on text data, we should have NLTK installed on our system. So I also had NLTK installed, but I have just got NLTK installed again. So it's working. So once it will work, then I'll show you the things on my system as well. My previous NLTK was expired. That's why I've been mentioning the theoretical concepts to the team. So whenever we work on text, the first thing that we need to do is sentence splitting. So what it does is in an NLTK, we have a functionality like this: from NLTK.tokenize import send tokenize and sentence tokenize whatever string we pass into it, a paragraph, a string, a book, or whatever, a newspaper or whatever. It will break it out in the form of sentences. So this is the first thing, sentence splitting, which breaks the paragraph into sentences. So that was the first thing that we have discussed. Second is tokenization. Tokenization basically means splitting the sentences into words. These words are nothing but called tokens. So let me tell you about tokenization. So a word that is token is the minimal unit that a machine can understand and process. So any text string cannot be further processed without going through tokenization. Tokenization is basically a process of splitting the raw string into meaningful words or tokens. The complexity of the tokenization varies around the need of NLP application and the complexity of the language. For example, in English, it can be as simple as choosing only words and number from the text. The number of words that are there, we use these and we call it a token. So everything, this example, send, sentence, splitter, split. So all these will be the example of tokens. With me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next part is stemming. So stemming normally says, so let's example, I have the word, say, stemming and limitation are used to bring a word on its morphological root. So let's example, I have a word called receive. Received, eating, playing. Getting all these on their root words is the purpose of stemming and limitation both. So stemming has a functionality with the help of which we can reduce this into its original root, both stemming and limitation. But stemming has a loophole. That is, whenever we work in stemming, what it does is it will just cut the last one or two characters from the end. So received will become RECIEV. What was that? It was say swimming. Swimming will become swim and playing will become play. So you see, received has become received because there are rules mentioned in stemming. Just remove ed from the end, but this will sometimes change the word as well. So this receive is of no use with me. So that's why limitation has been introduced. Limitation has a functionality that it brings the word to its morphological root. So here, so the word received will become receive. So it works on the actual word. So limitation is more powerful than stemming. So let me tell you again about this stemming and limitation. So stemming is basically a term, is the process of cutting down the branches of a tree to its stem. So that's why stemming is cutting out the branches to the stem. So like the use of some basic rules, any token can be cut down into its stem. Stemming is more of a crude rule based process by which we want to club together different variations of a token. So for example, so it's a crude rule based process. So whatever the scenario will be, it will make the received as receive without e in the end, because it's a crude rule based process. For example, the word eat will have the variations like eating, eaten, eats, and so on. So in some application, it does not make sense to differentiate between eat and eaten. So we typically use stemming to club both grammatical variants to the roots of the words. So stemming is used most of the times for simplicity. So these are the cases of complex language or complex NLP tasks where it's necessary to use lemmatization. So whenever it is complex kind of a thing and we need to actually go to the morphological root of the word, we don't use stemming, we use lemmatization. So lemmatization is more robust and methodical way of combining the grammatical variation. It covers the grammatical variations more as compared to stemming. So I will be discussing about stemming again. So execute the code as well. So just give me a second. Let me see where the code has gone. It's working. Okay. So yeah, the concepts are again very important. So let me cover the concepts. So next is lemmatization. So lemmatization is basically more methodological way of converting the grammatical forms of the root word. So lemmatization uses the part of speech to determine the inflected form of the word. So if I'll take an example, I'll say, I have been gathering ingredients for my sandwich. And second line, I'll say, there are many people in the gathering. So both gathering have a different meaning. In the first sentence, I have been gathering. Here, gathering will be a verb. But there are many people in the gathering. Here, the gathering will be a noun. So whenever we work with the lemmatization works on the morphological root of the word and it tries to understand the way
Sir,
the
your
word
voice
has
is
been.
breaking.
So that basically the difference between.
चालू हो गया बाबा.
Okay, just give me a second.
चालू.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Guys, is my voice clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Again
So I was
breaking,
telling
sir.
about lemmatization. Lemmatization is that is known as lemma. Sorry.
So why is speaking again?
Again, sir, your voice is breaking. Sir, we can't hear you.
Just give me a second. Let me change my location. Just give me a second. So am I better now?
Yes, sir, you are better.
Okay. So now the thing is,
Sir,
I've been telling about
what
lemmatization.
is? Sir,
Yeah.
please, steaming, please explain again. I can hear you. I can't hear you properly that time.
Okay. Stemming is basically cutting the word from the end. So let's example, I've used the word received. I've used the word receiving. So what it will do, it has some crude rules that have been mentioned. Crude rules means it always cuts ing from the end. It always cuts ed from the end. So in our
Like
example
we
that
have
we
a
have
word received, so it's cut ed, right? Correct, sir?
cut ed, yeah, cut ed from the end. So this is a rule that stemming has. But do you think this is the right rule? So in many of the cases this will work, but in some of the cases it will fail as well. So if I'll take an example of received, so in this received will be receive without e. So the word, we have lost the word just because of the sake of stemming. So in a similar example, when we say limitation is basically is more powerful, more robust as compared to stemming. So if I'll take an example, so whenever the limitation works, it tries to understand the way for which the word has been spoken. So the example which I have taken is, I just speak two lines. The first line is, I have been gathering ingredients for my sandwich. One. Second is, there are many people in the gathering. So the first thing, I've been gathering ingredient for my sandwich. Here gathering is a noun. So second line is, there are many people in the gathering. Here gathering is a verb. So whenever, if I'll say there are many people in the gather, and second is, I gather ingredient for sandwich. So first gather will make make sense. Second gather won't. So when we apply limitation over it, it is very smart. It tries to see the part of speech tagging. Part of speech tagging means why the word has been used, in what context the word has been used, and then it lematizes it. Then it brings the word to its morphological root. So that is the difference between stemming and limitation. So guys, this is very important with
So,
respect to, yeah.
so what happen if you are grammatically incorrect?
So what happens? Come again.
What happen when we are grammatically incorrect?
So in normal English, if we are grammatically incorrect, then this means some of the time it is a problem with the understanding of the different people with which we have been working on. But with machine, this is not the problem. If you're grammatically in, like machine does not consider the grammar. So machine has to reduce the sentence in a form that it is easily being understood by the machine, and the word and the sentence becomes very much simple, because machine only need to extract information out of it, for which the the sentence needs to be simple. So machine removes all the grammar, machine removes all the uh, all other things out of the sentence, which we will be discussing, like stemming it, limitizing it, and many more things which I'll be discussing, so that the sentence will become very, very, very simple.
Okay, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. Anybody who has any doubt till now?
No, sir.
Okay. The next part is stop word removal. So do you know what is stop word removal?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, like in stemming, sir, are there any specific rule, like what part should be removed?
So stemming, I said, it's a crude rule based approach. It has a certain things that have been defined. Say remove ed from the end, remove ing from the end, remove like all these kind of a pruning based word, like rules that have been mentioned in stemming. So, but stemming is not used very often. The thing that has been used very often is limitation.
So one more thing, sir, when we say text data, so does that include both numerical and categorical data, sir?
So yeah, so anything that is being written is the text data. But in case you write numerals in the text, let's example, you write, I have 2000 rupees. So 2000 is 2000. So I can perform certain actions on the text that you have written, but I cannot perform any actions like stemming, limitation, or many more things on the numeric values that have been written over here. Like,
Got
did okay. So the next concept is stop word removal. When I say stop word removal, what does it mean?
we
Sir, your
can't
screen is
move a
not
screen.
visible.
Yeah, I'm not writing anything on the screen. I'm just telling you the concepts. Then after this, I will use it, and I will then basically at this point of time, I'm not sharing my screen.
Okay, sir.
Will NLTK work on based on the regular expressions kind of thing?
No, NLTK is not a very small thing. It does not work on the regular expressions. It is a very wide thing. It provides n number of functionalities.
Okay, sir. Then how the system would find whether you have told like in the first sentence that gathering word is identified as verb, and then the second sentence the gathering word is identified as noun. So how the
Because
system would differentiate both the words?
yeah, because NLP has been developed very much that it identifies the part of speech. When it's a part of speech means how the word has been spoken. So in case it has a rule based, so that we will be learning here. So it has a rule based. I have been gathering ingredients for my sandwich. So the thing is, I have been gathering, now gathering ingredients for my sandwich. So this particular word has been surrounded by the nouns. So can you form a sentence where there are all nouns, a big sentence, say a 6-7 line sentence? So you can say, my school is nearby. There are many places near to my home, like school, like college. So these are the things which I've been trying to form with only nouns in it. So there are certain rules that have been defined. So NLTK library, NLP has been so much developed with Python that so with time, so now probably if NLTK get installed now or tomorrow, I'll tell you how it identifies. I'll basically tell you the libraries, how they find it. So each and everything has been so minutely defined that you would be amazed like how it actually works.
Okay, sir. So in the stemming process, it would just remove the like gerunds kind of things, not the entire nouns or other words like that.
Yeah, you're right. So it only removes it only cuts the word. It is just for the simplicity. So eating will become eat, swimming will become swim, eaten will become eat. So but this is receiving will become receive without e in the end. So it is just cutting the word. So I've been gathering I've been gathering ingredients for my sandwich. Here gathering will become gather. In the another line, there are many people in the gathering. Again, the gathering will become gather, because it is simple rule. Wherever it comes as a word with ing in the end, just remove it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So the next concept is stop word removal. What do we mean by stop word removal? So all the words. So within NLTK, around there's a list of 169 words that have been marked as stop words. So the word, say, I, he, she, is, am, are, has, have, all these are stop words. So as a next step, what it does is it removes all the stop words from the sentence, so that the sentence will be more simpler and occupying much less space. Because it says that whenever we work on the stop words, it does not add any information to the sentence, rather it adds a garbage to it. So the next step is to remove the stop words from the sentence. So till now what we have done, we have we have used stemming over it, we have used limitation over it, and now we have removed the stop words. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is stemming. So, oh sorry, stop word. Just see if NLTK is working. So my NLTK was working, but with time, normally what happens is you need to keep on updating your packages. So in case you don't update your package, so some of the dependencies won't be working in that scenario. Oh, the system's battery is on. Just give me a second.
Is sir mute or not audible?
So no, I'm not speaking. Just give me a second. So this means removing stop words like is, am, are, the, has, have, etc. So the next part is case conversion. So what do we mean by case conversion? Case conversion is, so the words that are there are sometimes say the word that has been written as ABHISHEK Abhishek and in small Abhishek are being considered differently by the machine.
Hello,
So
sir. Hello, sir. Are you getting my voice, sir?
yeah, please.
Sir, your screen is blurred, sir. We can't able to see anything, sir.
No, it's clear actually.
Oh, no, okay, not a problem. I'm not using my screen very much because my NLTK is updating. So there's no problem with the screen. I'll send you this file. So whatever I've been speaking, just the crux of it, I've been writing over the screen. So don't be worried about it. I will send you these notes, and I'm not doing anything with the screen right now. Is it fine, guys? So don't be worried about the screen because I'm not writing it on the screen, but I've been speaking.
Okay, sir.
So the second, third, again next part is case conversion. Yeah. Am I not audible? Guys, am I not audible?
Audible, sir.
Pass, sir.
Audible.
Okay. So the next part is case conversion. So the word that have been written in the uppercase and the words that have been written in the lower case have different sense when it comes to the machine. So in this, what we do, we convert all the words into a lower case, so that everything, a word written as Abhishek in small and Abhishek in caps, will have the same meaning. So is it clear? Is it clear, guys?
So it will convert everything to lowercase, right?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so apart from that, the next concept that we have is like the number removal. So this step is optional. So in case you find that the numbers play a role in your work, your text, then don't go for the number removal. Else you can go for a number removal. NLTK has an inbuilt functionality with the help of which you can remove all the numbers from the text. Guys, please put your somebody,
Sir, hello.
yeah, please put yourself on mute. I am hearing a lot of background noises.
Netra.
Hello.
Netra, mute yourself.
Hello.
Netra, please mute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, guys. Anybody asking any question?
Yes, sir. So what is the use of stop word removal, sir?
So stop word removal will make the sentence light. So in case I have 5 characters, 6 characters in a word, out of which the meaningful words are say 2 only. So it will keep only these 2, removing the 3 which will unnecessarily add storage to the memory, but it will not basically make sense when it comes to extracting the information from the text. So that's why we remove the stop words.
After the stop word removal, we converting all the characters into lowercase. Is it right, sir?
Yes, after stop word removal, we will convert into lowercase, because in case we do it first, then unnecessary time and effort will go to the word that are to be removed. But we are doing is we are unnecessary wasting our time in converting it into lowercase.
So why we should convert it into lowercase? What is the purpose? Actually, it
Because
occupies more memory or something else.
so because the purpose is machine treats the word say Abhishek in caps and Abhishek in small as 2 different words, but both of the words are same. So that's why we use a single kind of a conversion, a lower conversion, to convert all the text into a single case only.
Okay, sir. Only the ASCII values are the different, right, sir? So then what is the purpose of converting into lowercase rather than converting all the characters into uppercase, sir?
You can go with the uppercase conversion as well, but uppercase conversion will have like the more storage as compared to the lowercase things that we normally work on.
Okay, sir. Got it.
Hello, sir. Why we remove the stop words like and is because they have some significant meaning in the sentence.
So they have a significant meaning when we are speaking with each other. But when it comes to information retrieval from a text, so let's example, I need to perform an operation where I need to say say let's example, there's a vote campaign that has been going on. The different people are using different words, and the application is we need to find which of the party, say we have BJP, Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, and many more parties. So which of the party is giving more emphasis on which of the word? Through NLP, let's say example, we are trying to find. So I cannot say the word is or word an, the word the, has, have, they have been spoken more. No, I can only say the word, say development has been spoken 50 times, 100 times by party A. Whenever we are working on the crux of it, whenever we are retrieving information from any of the text application, then these words are not are not basically required 95% of the times. In some of the cases, we keep the stop words as well, but I'll come to that later on.
Okay, sir.
So next is punctuation removal. So it will remove all the commas, all the full stops.
Sir,
Yeah.
what about number removal?
So I told you, so number removal is optional. So in case your text has certain numbers and you think that these numbers plays a different role, let's say example, you're working on an email ID where you want you're cleaning your email ID. So this email ID should have gmail.com in the end and n number of things which you're doing. So you cannot remove the numbers because people will normally use the alphanumeric kind of a email ID. So in that scenario, you won't remove the numbers. But in the other one, in case you are working on whatever the different parties have spoken, so there the numbers won't play that important role. So you will go with number removal.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. So next is punctuation removal. What do we mean by punctuation removal? We mean that all the the things like comma, brackets, and all the things will be removed from it. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the next important concept in NLP is part of speech tagging. So part of speech tagging is a very good concept that the machine has. So before discussing on a part of speech tagging, so I will take a quick 5-7 minutes break and I will resume in 7-8 minutes because let me have so I've been speaking a lot. Let me have a warm water and I'll come back. So within 5-7-8 minutes. Okay, guys. So I'll be resuming in next 7-8 minutes.
Okay, sir.
So.
Okay. Hello.
Hi guys, I'm back. Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so guys, another concept is part of speech tagging. So let me write it down for you guys. So this part of speech tagging, let me tell you, then I'll write it down. Part of his speech tagging is basically, so let me explain you. So the thing is, so let example, in our childhood, we have heard the word, we might have heard like part of speech. So what does it mean? It means like what are the different adjectives, what are the different adverbs, what makes it different, so how the sentence is being formed, and many more things. So this part of speech is how the how this has been made. So how this has been made means, so how we are basically using the sentence is the part of speech tagging. So what is the purpose of this part of speech tagging? This part of speech tagging is basically like the languages that we have, English, and in the any other languages. So there are some generic things that we use like noun, adverb, verb, interjection, and many more things to basically form a sentence. So how the sentence has been formed. So somebody asked me a question how does lemmatization understands whether it's a noun or a verb. So that is through part of speech tagging. So what it does is it tries to understand what are the different things that has it tries to understand what are the different things that are being used in the sentence. So let me take an example. So I'll say word I was watching TV. So with this, what it will do is this part of speech tagging, what this part of speech tagging will do is it will break the sentence into different parts where I will become the preposition, was will become the verb, watching will become the verb, TV will become the noun. So this is the way how it works, and it basically transforms the sentence into the part of speeches that we have. So the word say I was watching TV. So let me write it down. If I'll write so is my screen visible or not? Okay, let me share it again. So it's blurred.
sir.
Yeah, let me share again. Is it clear or still blur?
Still blur, sir.
Just give me a second, guys. Let me.
So we can adjust. It's not that blurred that we can't see it. Can
Okay.
see it.
Okay. So if I'll say I was watching TV, so what it will do is if I'll write like NLTK dot post tag and this word, so what it will do is it will say I is a preposition. It will say was is a VBD. When I say VBD, VBD means verb that has been used in a past tense. It identifies. When I say watching, it will say watching. Watching is basically a verb. So it will say it as a verb. TV, it will say TV as a noun. So this is the way how it basically uses it. So this is part of speech tagging. So what is the use of part of speech tagging? The part of speech tagging becomes very important when it comes to extracting information from the sentence. So let's example, I've been working on any of the problem. Say I have the resumes. I have the resumes with me. Say 500 resumes I have, and what I need to do is, so I have how many resumes? So this is part of speech tagging.
One.
So I have resumes. I have say 500 resumes with me. So what I will do is I need to find the people who have worked on Java as a skill. Okay, and Python as a skill. So I need to find this. So what we will do is here, we use a combination of part of speech tagging and named entity recognition. Another concept that comes is along with the part of speech tagging, we use NER, that is known as it will find the name of the
Name
different people.
entity.
Recognition.
What's the name entity?
Named entity recognition. Did you get it? Did you get it? Hello guys, I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the thing is,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please explain again.
yeah. So the thing that I have just mentioned is named entity recognition. Named entity recognition means basically finding the different entities from a text. So it will find the entities like name, location, organization. This is the beauty of the named entity recognition. So this problem can be seen as can be seen as where you need to find the entities out of the text. What do we mean by entities out of text? Let example, the resume. What you need to do, you have thousands of resumes classified in any of the database. So what you need to do, you need to split the resumes basis the current location the person is at. So what you will do is you will use the named entity recognition, where it will split or where it will find the entities out of it, say location out of it, and it will classify the sentence into a particular entity that we have been discussing. So this is a named entity recognition. So there is more research that is being going in this area of NLP, where people are trying to they're trying to tag biomedical entities, product entities in retail. So so when we work on it, we have certain Stanford taggers. So certain libraries that have been directly been provided by the Stanford. These are the libraries that are being used in it. That is Stanford NER tagger, named entity recognition tagger, which will find the entities of the word, because it will use a dictionary on the back end, a Oxford dictionary in the back end, a Stanford dictionary in the back end, and many more things. So this is the beauty of named entity recognition. So I've been telling you the concepts that are commonly being used. So this is these are some of the concepts that we have been discussing. Apart from that, other concepts that we use in NLP is parsing. So parsing. Sorry. Guys, did anybody have any question? Anybody has any question?
No, sir. No.
So guys, I have been hearing a background noise from somebody, so please put yourself on mute in case you're not speaking. Okay, so the next concept that we use in NLP is parsing. What do we mean by parsing? Anybody has any idea? So parsing is basically fetching the detailed structure of the sentence. It is known as parsing. So what do we mean by that? So parsing actually means getting a syntactic information from the text. For example, it arranges the sentence in a form of tree. Say how the words are arranged, how the adjectives have been used, and how the nouns have been used. And like what it will do, it will try to identify like which of the word has been used with which other word, with which relationship. So let's example, Rohan is father of Sohan. So what it will do, it will find a structure. Rohan is a noun, father is a noun, Sohan is a noun. So how these three nouns are combined. So I said Rohan is father of Sohan. So father is a relationship. Rohan and Sohan are the names. So this kind of a structured identification is being done through parsing in NLP. That is known as parsing. Did you guys what I've been trying to say? Did you get it what I've been trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if I'll say
So can you repeat?
president, yeah.
So can you repeat for one more time?
Okay. So if I'll say parsing means getting the syntactic information from the text. I'll say president eats apple. Okay. Another line I'll say, so what it is doing, president is a noun, apple is a noun, relationship is eating. President is eating an apple. Rohan is father of Sohan. So Rohan is a noun, father is noun, Sohan is noun. So these two nouns, Rohan and Sohan, are the names, but father is a relationship. So that is the thing, that is a kind of a structure it will try to fetch from the sentence. So that is known as parsing. So guys, yeah, just make a note of the things which I've been saying, because these, everything that I've been saying, part of speech tagging, parsing, it has a different book on it, has a different subject on it.
Sir,
Yeah.
Parsing, what is the different criteria of parsing beside tree?
So there are different kind of parsing. Dependency parsing is there. There like chunking is there. Then after
So what is
chunking, yeah,
what is chunking, sir?
it is a shallow parsing. So I have not told you the parsing in detail, but it is basically finding the syntactic structure of the word. So so I have not told you. So let's example the dependency parsing. This parsing is used when we have a direct link between the words. So guys, please put yourself on mute in case you're not speaking. Okay. So guys, please put yourself on mute. Okay. So the thing is, let's example. I'll take an example. The big dog chased the cat. So here the sentences has been divided into two parts. One is noun phrase and second is verb phrase. The big dog is a noun phrase sentence where big is an adjective, the is an article, and dog is a noun. In the second part of the sentence, chased the cat. So chased is a verb, the is an article, and cat is a noun. So a sentence here is being formed with the help of a noun phrase and a verb phrase. So it basically draws a tree kind of a structure in it to basically work on it. This is known as parsing. Anybody any question till now?
No, sir.
So I guess these things will be clear to you guys when we work on some of these. So most probably tomorrow we will be working on all these concepts one by one. We will be covering major of these. So this is the NLP.
Can we complete this NLP part?
So today
Like
I've
till
just
now?
told you. No. I'm just there 2 or 3 more concepts. So we are not completed, but I will just asking you, like, in case anybody has any doubt till now, or I'll proceed further.
No. Yes, sir, you can proceed further.
Okay. The next part is information extraction. So NLTK provides the functionalities where we can extract the information through the things that we have seen, through part of speech tagging, through NER. Guys, please put yourself on mute. I see a lot of background thing that is coming. Yeah. So the things that we have seen till now, we see that we can extract information from a text using the things that we have seen. Say first cleaning the sentence, then part of speech tagging, then named entity recognition, then dependency parsing. Using the so all these techniques are not used in um in a single problem. So we have different applications in which these things are basically used. So can you each tell me the application of each of the things that we have seen? Can you please tell me the application of part of speech tagging? Any one of you, but where do you think the part of speech tagging is used? Anybody?
Sir, where we want to differentiate what is क्या हो रहा है अभी? Like I am watching TV, it's showing something that I am doing something.
Basically, so let's example. What we need to do, we need to detect some of the terrorist activities that have been going on. So some of the emails that have been communicated between the terrorists. So we need to identify what the activities that have been going on. So we need to identify for the competitors what the competitor is doing extra with respect to the things that we are not doing, or what are the things that are going on. We use part of speech tagging there. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
So where do we use named entity recognition? Give me 1 or 2 examples. Where do we use NER, named entity recognition? One of the example I've given is resume classification.
Sir, in search boxes. Search boxes if you want to look for a particular word.
Yeah, you're right. So named entity recognition is used whenever we use Google search and all of the things.
In Google Maps.
Google Maps. So yeah, all these things where in Google searches. So let's example, you try to find how Donald Trump reacted on coronavirus. So it will identify the names that have been used, like Donald Trump and coronavirus. So these are the things it will extract through named entity recognitions. Any other example anybody has?
Chatbots. You
Yeah.
are searching for something, some topics.
Yeah. Topic modeling, searching for topics. The named entity recognition is widely used.
So speech recognition is a part of SEO or some part is related to SEO? I'm just curious that we're asking.
So SEO is basically search engine optimization. So this is basically whenever it is searching, it will be searching the right context out of it. Speech analytics is nothing but it is translating the things into text, and these are being fetched from the data.
Got it.
So, sir, I have one doubt whether speech recognition works based on NLP. Let's say, for example, if you are searching for something using the speech recognition in their own regional languages. So, how would the system identify that languages and searching the related topics? It will work based on the NLP or some other technology. So,
It is a combination of NLP and some other techniques as well. So, for example, can you please come again? Your voice, I got your question partially, not fully. Come again,
uh,
please.
So if someone would like to search in their own regional languages, so how would the system will identify that languages and will provide the results, related results? It works based on the NLP or some other technologies. I'm asking.
So NLP provides an application. It has been developed to a very far extent, where it translates any of the language into the different language. So the word to word mapping through or vocabulary to vocabulary mapping is being done through this part of speech tagging. This is again a important example. Like the translation is a thing that is being done through part of speech tagging, where if I'll say I am reading book, मैं book पढ़ रहा हूँ. So all these languages, the part of speech tagging, the name entity recognition, and the vocabulary that has been stored on the backend are used in combination to go for this translation.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any other project which you think about NER?
Sir, like in Facebook, it automatically suggests the name on the picture. So that will also be categorized in NLP or image processing.
So both are the things. So finding a right image. So identifying a word is NLP. Finding an image, the relevant image from it, is a combination of NLP and image recognition both. So one of the another classical example which I'll give you is, so let's example, I'll say, if somebody writes anything on the Facebook that is where he uses the words which are more suited to depression, then all the antidepressants will be suggested to that particular patient or that particular person. So which technique of which thing or NLP is being used here?
So can you come again?
So the thing is, a person posts any comment on the Facebook. So let's example, I have been posting on a Facebook, my today's day is really very bad. I'm not enjoying my life at all. So let's example, I have written this, and automatically I get an antidepressant pill advertisement on my screen. So which techniques are basically used here?
Recommendation
So
techniques.
NER.
NER, yes, and recommendation engine, yes. So this is a combination of machine learning, recommendation engine, and NLP, which means whenever a customer asks, uses this word, say, not enjoying, I am sad, not happy, and all these words, then this will automatically predict as an outcome of a antidepressant that can be predicted using the machine learning and like a recommendation engine, and that particular thing is being prompted at that point of time. Did you get the logic how it works?
Yeah, sir.
So
Like
yeah,
yes, sir. A few days back, I am looking for a smartwatch and through the YouTube by getting the ad of a smartwatch. So this is an example of it.
Yeah, you're right. Now the thing is the multiple platforms. So let's say example you are looking something on Instagram. So you have been so this normally happens with everybody. Let example you are searching for shoes and suddenly you open Instagram. Then that particular ad of any other shoes or those shoes are normally goes with the Instagram as well. So this is nothing but a recommendation engine, but now they have been platform agnostic, which means in whatever platform you will search it, it will show it in the another platform. Because if you have searched it on Google, so Google ad will come to the another platform which you're using. So it is a combination of NLP and the recommendation engine. NLP is used less and recommendation engine to a higher extent.
Sir, I have a doubt in this example. So what happen if we have not logged in with our Gmail account or any mail ID? Suppose if you log in with some ID, it will store it in some cache and it will give out the result using the NLP technique in the other platform as well. So suppose I haven't logged with any of the mail IDs or any of the accounts, how it will give some results, sir? Whether it will work or it may not work.
So this example is not for the NLP. This example is so you have so they track the IP address of your system with which you normally access your account. In case the IP address changes, which you have not used, so there's a detection algorithm that is working on the backend, which throws it as an anomaly, and what you guys are being prompted as that you are using for the system for the first time. So a security code and all the things are being sent to you.
Okay, sir. So is it possible to track the IP address as well using any of the machine learning technique?
No. So that is not the machine learning technique. That is basically through IT and all the things like your office IT team and all the things. So they have the capability to track your IP, but this machine learning does not have that thing in it.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So guys, so today we have discussed about the NLP concept. If my NLP would have been my NLP is working, but if the dependencies would have been installed, I will be showing you the examples as well. But no worries, I'll be showing you with the examples tomorrow. So in the meanwhile, get your NLTK installed in your system so that you will tomorrow, if you'll get the notes for the things that we will be practicing, I will request you to practice it a lot, because this is the most emerging field in the market right now, and this is coming up as a different concept altogether. Your voice is breaking.
Okay, sir.
So your voice is breaking.
Rakesh, your voice is breaking, Rakesh.
Oh, yeah. My voice is clear now, sir.
Now it's better. Yeah.
Yeah, sir. So yesterday classes I asked you about the algorithm we have to learn. So well, last night my
Okay.
network is bad. That's why I'm not able to
Okay.
join. Can you
Okay.
tell me, sir?
Okay. You can. Yeah, you can use
Yeah,
Collab. So guys, please put yourself on mute. I cannot.
Shubham bhai, please 2 minutes here. Sorry, यार बस 2 minutes है. हाँ sir, please.
So the algorithms are collaborative filtering. The algorithms are gradient boosting. The algorithm, another algorithm is
Sir, please go slow. What's
okay.
this collaborating algorithm then?
Collaborative filtering, XGBoost. XGBoost.
Sir, spelling?
XG.
Sorry. Okay.
XGBoost.
XGBoost. Okay.
XGBoost.
Then
Then some of the algorithms
that are there. We will be covering those, like we will be covering with neural networks, we will be covering with the naive Bayes. So apart from that, I don't think any other algorithm that is left, or right now in the market, new algorithms are coming to say fast track algorithm, but I've not used it often and I've not seen it often, but in some of the examples I've seen it where it has outperformed. So you can write fast track as an algorithm, which even I'm not sure of, but I've seen it somewhere like in during the recent times.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, another algorithm is principal component analysis.
Principal component analysis. Okay, sir.
And factor analysis.
Sir, you're telling these algorithms to be
Next one,
covered
sir.
in future. So what is it?
No, I'm telling you that you should also learn about these algorithms. You should also read about these algorithms. These are not on your in your course curriculum, but these are the algorithms that are also like good to know algorithms that we have.
So after principal component analysis,
Factor analysis.
factor analysis. Okay.
Yeah. So these are the algorithms we have here.
Okay, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So in the data science, the main part is that the data cleaning, right?
So in data science, data cleaning and machine learning are the integral parts, but machine learning is a basically part which will require you to understand each and every algorithm, but data cleaning is common in every machine learning algorithm that we work on.
So how we can check that data is corrupted, or and some techniques like?
So data is corrupted. You can simply see the summary of the data, how many missing values are there, how many outliers are there through this exploratory data analysis.
No,
So
sir,
this will,
except that, sir, there are outliers and that there are some missing values, and except if there are mismatched data set, like in zip code, there are some name of the city and there are some zip codes in the city, then how can we identify those?
so we have a functionality in Python that is regex, regular expressions. You can fix the rules in the regular expression. Say email ID should have @ in it. Email ID should have .com in it, .co in it. So these are the certain rules which you need to define with the help of regular expressions. You should go with regular expressions in the Python to see if the data that you're trying to do, you will be making some rules out of it using regular expressions, and the outcome will be in form of like the right kind of a thing that is being put into the columns.
Can you share some algorithms that we can use, like
So
regex and?
regex is not an algorithm; it's a basic Python functionality. I'll show you one or two regular expressions, like identifying @ in email ID is mandatory. So you can make regex. You have to design your own regex depending on the requirement. I'll show you some examples.
Okay.
Anybody else? Any question? If we are done, we will be covering NLP in more detail to the practical session tomorrow at 8:30.
Sir, so today is the first class of AI, right?
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Related to a curriculum, so do you aware that like
Sorry, I cannot hear anything. Hello, is anybody speaking? I cannot hear anything. Okay, guys, anybody has any questions?
Hello, sir.
Anybody has any question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Sir, for text recognition or sentence reformation, what we do? Like if there is any grammatical mistakes in the sentence, we have to correct that or other.
The part of speech tagging is used on the back end. The libraries that have been made in it uses a part of speech tagging and parsing on the back end to do that.
Okay.
Anybody else, any question?
Yes, sir. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're audible.
So this is my first class, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, after Python, I didn't attend any machine learning.
So I'll suggest you to go for machine learning first, because if you'll not go with that, you won't be able to make anything out of it.
Because I didn't get any recorded sessions right now, so that I'm asking for the recorded sessions, sir.
So I won't be the right one. You can contact IIBM for the same. Yeah.
Yes, sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. So we'll meet tomorrow at 8:30 with NLP practical sessions.
So do we have any data set for that, or we are just running in?
Both data set as well and without data set as well.
So can you share that data set so that we can practice too?
Sure, I'll share that. So the data set is not based on that. Initially, we will be working without data set, then we will going with the data set. So once the data set will be required, I'll share one day before with you guys.
So can you use that Kaggle data set so that we can download on right now with you?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. So whatever data set I'll use, I'll make sure I'll use it from the net, and you guys will be downloading it from there only.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. We'll resume tomorrow at same time, 8:30.